Have you encountered this in your online class? Here comes your teacher. Good day, class. Today we will have the activity called Dear. Drop everything and read. I have here the copy of our selection for today. I'll post it so you can download it. I will give you time to read and I'll be back here for the comprehension activity. Good luck. I really love reading. Me too. I can answer it in just a few minutes. You know, this is so easy. Easy. Such a no-brainer.
Meanwhile, a few moments later. More moments later.
Hello class, I'm back. We're going to start now with our comprehension activity. To answer number 1, let's have Diane. Diane? Diane? It seems like Diane got disconnected. What's happening now? Well, let's just have Tanya. Tanya, please answer number 1. Oh my, what's happening? Your audio now is malfunctioning. Maybe you can just refresh, rejoin. Leave now first, then rejoin. Okay. What's the meaning of this? Everybody is not answering. Oh, I know this will be a good choice. Let's have Ira. AJ, go. My gosh, what's the meaning of this? I know you've experienced that both as a teacher and as a student as well. So for us to prevent this from happening again, we must learn the different types of definition. So this one is for you. Hello sayers, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about the types of definition. But before we jump into our topic for today, let me present to you the objectives. Number 1, identify the types of definition. 2, make examples for each type of definition. And the third one there is value the importance of the types of definition. So these 3 objectives must be achieved after we discuss all the types of definition. Now, first of all, we will have this me time. This is very interesting. You will define the word love. By the way, me time is the time that I will give to you to answer the activity to be presented here. I know this is, if not the easiest, one of the easiest activities you will ever do, because I know for a fact that we have our own way of defining this word or this feeling, love. And your timer starts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For definition there on the comment box below. And I know for a fact that your definition is unconditional. Okay, so I ask you to define the word love. To be fair, I also have my definition here. Love is a feeling that makes you want to slow-mo the present and fast forward the future with the person you love. Good. Let's continue to This time we'll be having the types of definition, formal definition, informal definition, and the extended definition. Let us start with the first one, formal definition. Formal definition provides more information needed to help increase comprehension. And as the name implies, this is somehow longer than longer than the usual definition that we give when we are asked by our teacher. Two, make it fast and to easily answer the question that our teacher gave to us. Then another definition here is divided into three parts, namely the term, the class, and the differentia. The term refers to the word we are going to define. It's the most important part because we will not be able to give our explanation or definition itself if we don't know what word we are going to define. What is that word, right? Then the second part there is the class. It could be the part of speech or the category where that particular term belongs to. Then the third one, the last part there is the differentia or the differentiating factors or characteristics. What makes it different from other words? That's very important. Huh? Now, it may also be found in a dictionary or at the beginning of a book's chapter or in the glossary. I know you've done this before when you were having a hard time defining this particular word. You would turn your book to the last page and presto, you'll get the definition of that particular word. That's because of the glossary. And that is also an example of a formal definition. Now, more about formal definition. For us to easily understand what is a formal definition, let us have here an example. Okay. An example of formal definition. We have here comic books are sequential and narrative publications consisting of illustrations, captions, dialogue balloons, and often focus on superheroes. We have here the three parts of a formal definition. The first one is the term. The term is, right, that is comic books. Then the class here is the sequential and narrative publications. If we're going to stop our definition on that particular term or that particular class, we will not be able to differentiate this word to other words or from other words as well, right? Meaning, differentia is also important for us to know the similarities and the differences of this word from other words. So we have here the differentia, consisting of illustrations, captions, dialogue balloons, and often focus on superheroes. So that makes this word or this term different from other words. Now, we have here another me time. If I'm not mistaken, this is a second me time. Here's your activity. Identify the parts of the following formal definition. Water is a liquid made up of hydrogen and oxygen molecules in the ratio of 2 is to 1. Let me repeat. Water is a liquid made up of hydrogen and oxygen molecules in the ratio of 2 is to 1. I'll give you 5 seconds to identify the parts of this formal definition. Remember, these are the parts: term, class, and differentia. Your 5 seconds starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me have your answer. The term is water. That's your answer. Good. Then, what's the class? Liquid, doing good. Then, the differentia. Let's see if your answer is correct. Here's the answer. The term is water. Good. Your answer is correct. Then liquid class, differentia made up of hydrogen and oxygen molecules in the ratio of 2 is to 1. It's so easy, right? You just have to remember the meaning of each part so you'll be able to supply the needed information. And I know you are ready to have the second part or the second type of definition, which is informal definition. What does it mean? Also known as parenthetical definition. Is used with words that can be easily defined within the same sentence as the word being defined. So informal definition is usually together with the word it defines. Not unlike the formal definition that we usually look at the beginning of the chapter or in the end of the book, and that is part of the glossary. Or we have to look for other parts of the book or that particular reference material we are reading for us to define the word. Then, may use synonyms, antonyms, or short phrases introduced by, or in other words, or like. So these are the ways on how to use the informal definition. We have here the informal definition example. Every room needs at least two sinistral left-handed chairs. We have here the meaning of the word sinistral, which is left-handed. And as you can see there, it's enclosed with parentheses, thus parenthetical definition. It makes for one to define the word and understand the word easier because the definition itself is together with the word it is defining. Now, I have here another example. Teachers displayed leniency when it comes to the submission deadline of their students' modules. Meaning of leniency is there already. Mercy and or allowance. This example is intentionally included there because as a teacher, I was able to read complaints from parents and students as well regarding the module submission or the deadline itself. And I would like to have this example to raise also the awareness of the students and the parents that teachers also are adjusting. And with that, teachers are also displaying leniency when it comes to submission of the modules and other activities. So we just have to work hand in hand. We have here the third me time. This time, I want you to think of a book you read before. And remember a word that you had a hard time defining. This is in line with what I told you earlier regarding a difficult word to define, but because of the author provided the meaning beside it, because of the parenthetical definition, your life as a reader and as a student became easier because you were able to understand the selection itself easier because of those definitions. And if you can still remember those words, great job. Because of those words, because of those definitions, you were able to comprehend that particular selection or text. This time we'll be having the third and last type of definition, which is the extended definition. It is a one or more paragraphs that attempt to explain a complex term. This one is going to be more technical as the definition implies. We are going to talk about the way to define a complex term or technical term. Then it's an explanation and or an illustration of a word, thing, or concept. Generally has components of both informal and formal definitions. So as the name implies, extended it's much longer than the previous types of definition. This one, the author uses a number of other techniques to define a word, a concept, or a phrase, including the following: etymology, or sharing a word's origin, where did it come from, who coined this word, who started using this word, in what particular field was this word used before, then examples or anecdotes, telling a story or example that illustrates the term, or negation, defining a term by explaining what the concept is or not. These are just some of the characteristics that an extended definition may contain along the way, may contain. So I have here an example of an extended definition. Online technical writing, example definition by David McMurray. It's about sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a congenital hemolytic anemia that occurs primarily but not exclusively in African Americans. The condition results from a defective hemoglobin molecule, hemoglobin S, which causes red blood cells or RBCs to roughen and become sickle shaped. Such cells impair circulation, resulting in chronic ill health. At present, only symptomatic treatment is available. Half of such patients die by their early 20s, few live to middle age. So that is an example of an extended definition. As I told you earlier, this one is really for technical terms, and usually this is used in medical field because technical terms there are very much needed and very much needed to be defined for the patients and for the common people to understand the terms, and also about jargons to different fields that will also be helpful when you know how to do it using the extended definition. Most especially if the one you are explaining this particular concept is really an alien or a foreign body to that particular concept. Okay, that's the example. This will be the general me time. This will be the last me time. With all the examples that I displayed here, with all the examples that I showed here, I want you to apply the three types of definition that we just discussed. And you will define this very important term, not just because of the pandemic, but because of the challenges, the stress, the struggles that people this trying, challenging. Your task is to define mental health using the three types of definition we discussed. Please leave your answers down there on the comment box so I'll be able to know how you define mental health based on how you perceive it and based on your experiences. This word is in line, that the selection of this word is in line with the celebration of the Mental Health Day. If I'm not mistaken, that was yesterday, October 10, 2020. You know, please always remember this. You are not alone. I am here. Simon is here. We are here. We just have to stay together, maybe virtually for this time, for us to survive and to thrive. So, this has been Simon for Simon Says PH. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll get updated on my future uploads. See you again on my next vlog. Thank you, and let's call it a day. Bye bye.